Yeah, so it won't surprise most of you that I've done the cheaty thing, and I've screenshot my new website, my brand new website. Only went formally live on Monday, and as I mentioned earlier, shout out for Craig for the 10 pages of edits he's given me that I should have within my. That must be a Rio point, by the way, Keith. That he's not saying yes, Joe. So what I wanted to do was not so much take you through the website, because I know a lot of you have already had a look at it, and thank you for the comments, the very kind comments that you've been making, but a bit more about what's behind some of the images and the ideas in the website. So Peak to Peak is all about trying to find the opportunities for growth between all the peaks of activity that people have through their careers when they're going through transitions, changing jobs, countries, companies, including retirement. And the reason for this particular photograph is very simple. It represents a point in the oceans of Cape Cornwall where the Atlantic meets the Channel, and the waves come from two different directions. So you get all kinds of stirring up in the water, and there's an awful lot of challenges. But even then, there's areas of calm within those peaks where you can take a breather and you can sit back and you can think about some of the things that drive you and make you the person you are and doing the stuff that you do. Um, so that image was, I quite liked it. I couldn't capture it myself. I had to nick it from somebody else who very generously gave it to me. Um, where's the, oh, it's there, isn't it? So what we're about at Peak to Peak is this whole idea of navigating career and transitions and doing that on the basis of self-awareness. And as many of the people on this in this audience know, I refer to finding your towel. And for those who don't know the metaphor, it comes from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, famous tome. Everyone should have read it by now. In which Ford Prefect is described as a cool fruit who knows where his towel is. A pangalactic hitchhiker needs to know where his towel is because then people trust them. Because if you know where your towel is, you must be in control of everything. If you apply that to understanding yourself, then if you're in a job interview, if you're explaining to a sponsor or an investor why you're doing certain things in your company, and you can play that back to, I do this because I like playing with tech. I enjoy looking after animals. I find the creative process of being able to bring a bit of sparkle into people's lives really, really gets me going. It's why I'm in business. It's what I do and why I do it. It's a much stronger sales pitch. It's a much stronger connection line for people than just saying, well, it's what I do. And if you can play that back to all the changes you're making through your career and understand what that means for you personally, you've got better control. And there's nothing worse than not feeling in control. Even if you've been made redundant, feeling in control makes a big, big difference. So I offer basic, you could argue I offer not two services, it's one, but I'll come on to the difference in a minute. The overall executive and career transition coaching is all about understanding yourself, greater self-awareness, so that you can have a more successful and better prepared transition to whatever the next role is. The thing about career transitions is you're usually moving forward. It's a positive move. It's a bigger step, a bigger job, more money, different company, country, whatever that is. It's positive. When you come to the retirement transition, so many people see it as, well, they're retiring from being the running their own company, being the CEO, being a well-respected part of the company, whatever that might be. Retirement reimagined is to turn that on its head and make it positive. To say, what are you retiring to do? What are you retiring for? What is the purpose that you're doing? And the reason that that's so important is that when it comes to it, 30% of people who retire suffer well-being and mental health issues. And it's because they don't know who the heck they are when their badge was taken away. And if you want to know a bit more about that, there's another video on my website you can go and have a look at. So the other thing that I do is general business and support coaching on a pro bono basis for charities, startups, and members of my livery company, the Worshipful Company of Information Technologists. And that is because I can, frankly. I do have a lot of business experience, but that's not what I want to do commercially. I use that to support charities and startups who can cash in on my knowledge and my abilities, for want of a better word, and it seems to work. I have plenty of coaching clients through those three channels, which give me all kinds of interesting challenges to deal with. But then when I was putting this website together, I got the ultimate challenge, which was Dave Crucial, who most of you know from Evolve Your Digital, asked me, well, okay, Gordon, if that's what you do through your company, what do you do for fun? And I just said, well, this is what I do. It's a bit like Joe saying, what would you do if you didn't have to work anymore on a Tuesday morning? I would probably still be doing this because this is my fun. I only do what I want to do, and I only do it with people I want to work with, and I don't work Wednesday afternoons and Friday afternoons. I'm in control of it, and I'm doing stuff I want to do the way I want to do it. But also, I've taken up nature photography. This egret, I took this photograph. It's one of my favourite because it was one of our first romantic weekends away after my wife died and I was a bit widowed, and then I fell in love again. This was one of our first weekends away. We went to Slimbridge. I'll go back there next week. But this is one of my photographs. This is something I'd never done before, nature photography. So I'm quite pleased with it. It's about being in control, knowing what you're doing, and understanding why you enjoy doing stuff. Like, and understanding why you don't. I mean, I hate numbers, and I know why. I failed my A-level maths, never got into pharmacy, and ended up working for a computer company. But I had to do numbers for 20 years in an outsourcing company. I had to compromise. If I'd known why I was doing things, I could have had a lot more fun in my career than I probably did. And I would rather people had fun in their career and in their retirement. So who do I work with? Typical clients. Basically, anybody who's driving change for themselves or their organization. I'm about to take on a new charity CEO for a housing charity in the northeast who's just had their funding cut by 50%. She's having to lay off staff, something she's never had to deal with before. And she just wants someone to talk things through with and sound things out with. And I can do that because I've been through what we used to euphemistically call restructurings. Yeah, thanks, Keith. You know what I mean. But then again, the one at the top there, global IT exec. I've been working with that lady over the years since about 2006, coaching, advising her on promotions and job moves. She's now got into teaching because she's a lone parent and she's got a 10-year-old, 11-year-old boy, and she decided she wants to be home more than that, is moving into senior school. So she's gone into teaching too. Funnily enough, one of my other clients has got a startup setting up a coaching practice for teachers. She's an ex-headmistress. So guess what? I've connected them. And some of the people in this group know I regularly connect some of my clients with them when I think they can help each other out or be supportive to each other. And it works really well. But as I say, my target clients, anyone who's driving change for themselves or their organization, who wants to understand more about their own personal motivations so they can cash in on them more effectively, shall we say. So this is relatively short. Joe, I think I've got a couple of minutes left, haven't I? Something like? Yeah. So I'm probably going to finish a little bit early, but As Joe says, I always give people things to do with my presentations, and this is what I want you guys to do. There's a reflection model. It's a very simple one. It's what happened, so what, now what? I'd like you to send me your reflection on this presentation. What did you hear? How did it resonate with you? And if it resonated with you or it made you think of something, what are you going to do about it? And what do you want to be the consequence of that action? So now what will happen? It's a very simple model. Just send it to me. You can send it to me on WhatsApp privately or in the group. I will always keep conversations private and confidential, but you can share as a wish you want to do. And as a passing thought, well, I did say I've taken up nature photography, and I do a lot more traveling. So this was off New Zealand last year on our honeymoon, and it's the first time I've ever seen a whale dive. I love the photograph. It's actually a good photograph. But secondly, it's the first time I've seen something like that in nature, and I just stood there and cried. It was so beautiful. Um, and we're going back there next year so we can watch a lot more. But that's what it's taking the quality time, understanding that that means so much to me now that I will go back and do it again. Will I stop doing what I'm doing? No, Joe, because I will carry on doing this kind of stuff because it's who I am. But I know that's who I am because I've been through the self-reflection and asking these three questions of myself about all kinds of things that go on that I come across, how I react to it, what does that mean for me? So what do I want to do about it? So this is only a short presentation. If you'd like to send me your reflection, I'd be really great to receive them. So I reckon that's my 10 minutes, Joe. Thank you ever so much for listening, everybody, and I'll stop sharing and finish the presentation there. Thank you.